it's Sophia Hodgson from RustyBlue85 and I'm back with another card making video here on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making Dracula's Castle using the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero August 2019 kit add-on, and there's just a preview of the card that I'm going to be making today. So I'm going to be using this die, which is one of the add-ons, which is the paper layering castle, and I'm cutting that out of watercolour cardstock. And these are the distress inks that I'm going to be using later for colouring in the sky and the scene. But first of all, I need to cut apart this castle because I won't be masking anything. So I'm just going to cut along where the kind of ground meets the sky. Now this die doesn't completely cut all of the sections out, it just cuts bits out, but it leaves little gaps, so you will need a good pair of scissors to cut all of the extra turrets and things out completely from the background. So I'm going to be using a completely separate piece of watercolour cardstock for the sky, but I just want to cut out all of these turrets and things separately. So I'm just using my Tim Holtz scissors for that one. So now I've got all of the turrets cut out. I don't think that Dracula would have amazing flags flying from all of the turrets, so I'm just cutting the flags off so it looks less Disney Castle and more Dracula's Castle. And I'm just kind of re-edging the roofs because they looked a bit weird once I cut the flags off. So now I'm going to be using some finger daubers just because it gives me slightly more control. So for the castle itself and any little buildings in the ground, I'm using the pumice stone distress ink, and I will be going over everything with black soot later just to darken everything up, but I will leave you with some music for now, and if you want to watch the colouring, but if you want to speed through this section, you can speed through to about 6.5 minutes. So now that I've finished colouring the castle, I'm going to move on to colouring in the sky with my Distress inks. This is Broken China, and you'll see me using a much larger blending tool because it's a much larger area, and I will continue to bring in the castle cutout just to see how far I need to blend down the card. And as you can see, I'm only about halfway down, but I've still got a lot more that I need to colour in. I'm also going to be using black soot behind the castle, just so that the windows appear black rather than blue. And I'm going to be bringing black soot and faded jeans around the outside, just to darken up the sky, so that when I paint on the lightning, it will be much more of a contrast, as opposed to now where the Broken China is quite pale. So again, I'm going to be doing a lot of ink blending, so I'll leave you with some music and then I'll come back once I start painting in the lightning. Now that I'm happy with the way my sky is looking, I've just found an image of lightning on Google Images, and I'm just copying that out. I'm using Gansai Tambi watercolours in the metallic white and the pale ultramarine. as you can see, my phone doesn't want to hold the image for too long, so I can put the phone down after a bit and just paint it in freehand, but I just wanted a rough idea before I started. And the combination of the metallic white and the pale ultramarine gives that kind of almost electric colour. So I really like the way that this turned out. It's quite labour intensive, using a water brush to constantly reapply the colours, because they do start to fade into the distress inks, so you will need to reapply multiple layers, but at the very end it looks great. Again, I'm going to leave you with some music, and you can watch this painting unfold, and I'll speak to you again once I've got all of this done and I start attaching things to the card base. And now that I've finished painting on my lightning, I'm going to start attaching everything to the sky panel. I don't know if you can see, but I thought I pressed record, but I hadn't. I placed the castle over the background and cut out one of the windows and inserted a little die cut in there that I'd painted yellow with some Arteza real brush markers, just so that it looked like one of the windows was lit up. So, you know, Dracula is definitely at home whilst all this lightning storm is going on. Just to add a spooky effect. And I've glued down the castle itself, and now I'm gluing down all of the extra add-ons that kind of were snipped out originally. So I'm just adding on some extra turrets. And I don't know if you can tell, but some of them I hadn't put quite enough black soot on, so the pumice stone looks a bit stark. So I will, off camera, just add a little bit more black soot to them to darken them up a bit. I'm also going to colour in some of the open windows with a Faber-Castell Pitt Real Artist marker, just to get those windows really, really black so that there is just one window with light in. So Dracula's castle wouldn't be complete without a lot of bats, so I decided to raid my stash to find a suitable bat stamp, and I found this awesome Art Impressions old bat stamp set, and it had that little cluster of bats, and I thought that that would be just perfect. So I'm going to stamp those on the sky background using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I will mask off some of the bats and stamp them multiple times around the sky, just so that I've got a variation in sizes of bats. So these are all of Count Dracula's children or something. I do love that. Halloween, it's good fun. It lets the imagination run riot. So even if you don't have this stamp set, if you have another stamp set with some bats in, you can use that one. Don't feel that you have to use all of the stamps that people use in their card making videos. You can mix it up with whatever you happen to have in your stash. I used a sentiment inside my card from a stamp making company that don't exist anymore. I bought loads of Halloween stamps from them over a period of years, and I still use them. So if you have some favourite Halloween sets, just get them out, show them some love. Don't feel that just because people can't buy them anymore that you can't enjoy them still. So I've finished stamping all of the bats that I want around the castle. Oh no, sorry, I've still got a few bats that I want to stamp, obviously. But this is essentially going to finish off the front card panel, and then I'm going to cut some foam tape to layer on the back. The reason why I haven't shown you that is because Inara was helping the entire time, and you do not need to see me cuddling my cat for half an hour, otherwise this video would be incredibly long. So as you can see, I've just layered up some foam tape on the back, and I'm going to adhere this to the card base. And just checking that it's lined up at the top. So now I'm going to take my Signo Uniball white gel pen to paint in some eyes on the bats, and also some highlights on the roofs of the castle. And again, you don't need to watch me drawing on highlights on the roofs on the castle. So this is the sentiment that's going to go on the front. It's from, as I said, a very, very old stamp set that I got from a stamp making company that don't exist anymore. But if you have a Happy Halloween sentiment from a different stamp company and a different stamp set, then you can always use that one. I'm just using the parchment paper that came in the August Hero Arts kit. So this was part of the kit, whereas the paper layering castle was an add-on. And I've just die cut that with a fishtail banner, and I've applied some foam tape to the back, and I'm just going to stick it essentially over a bit of greenery that doesn't really matter, so that you can see that there's the castle and the path leading up to the castle. And that's the card pretty much done. So you can see Count Dracula is at home and all of his bats are flying, and there's the greeting on the inside, Halloween greetings. And I hope you enjoyed this card making video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.